Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kakumonogatari Draw With Kakumonogatari podcast, where you just turn it on and tune it out in the background. You know, it's background noise for you to have in the back while you get stuff done and start drawing. That's what I was trying to say. We're off to a pretty freaking good start right now, but I guess what can you expect from the first episode? I'm not too used to doing this stuff yet, but I figured, hey, I might as well, if I record a time lapse, talk over it and kind of, give you something to listen to in the background. Pretty freaking similar. Okay, you know what? Really similar, I should say. It's basically just a blatant ripoff of the Draw with Mikey by Mikey Mega Mega. Or is it Mikey Mega? Is it 2 megas or 1 mega? I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, basically it's just a ripoff of that. Except not with his voice, and instead of tea, we have Coca-Cola, because I'm American, bud. So, sit down and get yourself a nice cold, tall glass of Coca-Cola, and let's start drawing. Let's get some work done. Now, obviously, this week, I don't have any questions, but any questions that get commented down below will be featured in these sort of podcasty background noise themes later on. So if you have anything you want to ask or just want to make some decent conversation, just let me know. Down below. Like, you can legit say and ask anything, and it'll go into the next podcast, because let's be honest, it's episode 1. We have no subscribers on this channel. We have no views on this channel. I'm desperate for content, bud. You can pretty much just be like, hey, what's your favorite food? And then I'll take that comment and I'll go on for freaking 30 minutes about my favorite food. You think I won't, but I freaking will. Because that'll probably be the only comment I get. So if that's the only thing I get, well, guess what? That's the only question I have to answer, so I might as well take 30 minutes talking about my favorite food. So there you go. I just gave you one question, but just keep them coming. That way I don't have to try and talk about food for 30 minutes. Or my favorite food for 30 minutes. Let's see. I did write down a couple topics, but wherever I wrote them down, I completely lost it. So that's that. But in other news, I guess Halloween's coming up. You guys doing anything for Halloween? I'm freaking not. It's almost 1 degree outside, and that's Fahrenheit, not Celsius. Like I said before, we're the American version of Mikey Mega Mega, so we don't mess around with none of that Celsius garbage. It's all Fahrenheit over here, boys. So yeah, it's like 1 degree Fahrenheit outside, which is pretty freaking cold, and also pretty freaking weird, because it's only October, and there's already snow on the ground over here. And I'm like, that's cool. Some places freaking schools getting shut down because of the snow, and I'm like, what the heck, dude? But I guess that's just global warming. Honestly, I wish I was still in school, because then I could not have to go to work, because let's be honest, work ain't shutting down because of the snow, but school, they'll shut down because of the snow. Actually, I take that back. I've seen businesses shut down due to snow before, but it takes a little bit more to make a business go, yeah, you know what? Probably not a good idea to stay open. Probably not. Let's see. Speaking of businesses, actually, I was going in for an interview the other day, just trying to get another extra gig to make a little extra money. To kind of, I want to go on another trip later this year, so I was thinking maybe making some extra money to be able to do that. But I didn't get the job. That's the long story short. But let me tell you, girls, let me tell you something. Y'all got some of the weakest freaking handshakes, dude. Like, I walk into the manager, and the manager is a dude, and I shake his hand. It's pretty firm, and he's like, all right, listen, man, I got to do some work for a second, but, like, you walk around the storefront, and I'll be with you in a moment. So I'm walking around, and another one of the employees, she comes up, and she's just like, hey, nice to meet you. And I'm like, hey, nice to meet you, goes for the handshake. Freaking dead fish looking handshake. Doesn't even, like, wrap her hand around mine. You see those, like, princess looking things where they just kind of hold their hand out and like expect you to kiss it or something? and they just do nothing with it. Kind of felt like that, but like a handshake. So she just kind of held her hand out, and then I went in for the handshake, but it's like nothing really happened there, you know? I just kind of grabbed the hand, and I was waiting for it to become a handshake, but it never did. She didn't even like initialize the up down movement. The up down movement, which is a key movement in handshaking, you know? It's pretty key. You don't just hold your arm out and just leave it there, you know? Give it some motion, you know? Wrap your hand around their hand. Girls, learn the handshake. I'm gonna say this right now, learn the handshake, because let's say you meet your favorite boyfriend, right? And he goes in for a handshake. Like, this is the first time you met. This dude's like Prince Charming in your eyes, and you go in for that handshake, just like a, how do you do, whatever the frick. You go in that handshake. If you're a dead fish freaking fella, that fella out of there, dude. He's not gonna stick around, bud. So there you go, girls. Learn to give proper handshakes, and dudes will love you. They'll be like, whoa, she touched my hand. That's crazy. That'll probably happen anyways, you know, knowing most guys these days. So yeah, I mean, that's like I guess that's the story time segment of today's podcast, was the interview I got. But yeah, the interview actually went pretty freaking good. I think it was like a clothing store pretty much, right? And I'm trying to get some more. I was mainly trying to get the job because of the discounts, you know. I shop there sometimes for clothes, and I was like, yeah, it'd be nice to get a discount. But also, you know, the extra hours and stuff would be nice. That would make some extra money. But I think they were mainly looking for, like, female workers, which makes sense, you know, because it was, like, I wouldn't say primarily girl store, but, you know, just like how all other clothing stores are, even though they're not primarily girl stores, they're pretty much primarily girl stores. Because let's be honest, us dudes don't do much shopping. Like, not a ton of shopping, not as much as girls do. So, like, the market there isn't really geared toward us. It's geared toward them. Anyways, enough rambling along. I want to talk about the drawing that's going on in the background right now for a second. For those of you tuning me out in the background, just don't worry about it. Envision something prettier than what I'm actually drawing right now. Pretty much what I was working on here is I was doing a photo study, or like just a photo study pretty much, because I really like the pose that this girl has, and you know what? I should probably figure out who this is so I can shout them out. That way it's not just like, you know, I'm like, yeah, look, it's a pretty girl. You'll never know who it is. So while I'm talking, let me see if I can find it again on Instagram. But yeah, anyways, I really like the pose. And I think if you're an artist, whenever you discover like a pose that you like, you should just do like a quick photo study, or just like a quick study in general of it, because this is how you're gonna like start to grow a little bit as an artist. I mean, obviously you don't have to go as in depth as I did. Like, honestly, you could have just done a quick photo study with like the rough sketch that you saw in the very beginning before trying to go in to refine it. But since I was like really liking the pose and I wanted to put it on my page, I was like, all right, let's do a full-blown photo study and try to get this down. But what ends up happening is I end up not actually liking the study that I did too much, because I was trying to go for like this semi-realistic anime type thing, sort of similar to what you see of like Ilya Kushnov or like someone like that, and I just I wasn't feeling it. So like later on, you'll see I pretty much end up just like scrapping the entire face and everything. I kept the pose, and I end up just drawing like one of my my original characters named Luna, who I mean, because like the outfit is pretty much just what Luna wears. I just had to get rid of the like thigh highs, and then everything else was like great, you know, the tank top, the short shorts, like everything else was like pretty much what she wears. I just had to get rid of the thigh highs, so it was like an easy adjustment just to switch it over to be Luna. So you'll see me do that switch later on, but I actually, right here looking at it, I think the face looks weird to me, but the entire body looks good. And I think that's what I kept struggling with this photo reference. See, you just see a little cut there because I went to take a break or something. So yeah, if you're looking at the face, see, it just kind of looks off, and the hair doesn't look that great. Like, it's technically pretty close to the reference, but, you know, a little more stylized as far as like to try and get that anime look to it. But like I said, I wasn't feeling the face, wasn't feeling the hair, so I end up redoing it. Yeah, this was me laying down some values to try and figure it out. Oh, I did find the person. The username is a bit weird, but we're gonna do our best to get through it. The username is QQE_52772. So yeah, there you go. Her name is like something in Chinese, and then Sylvia, and then something in Chinese. She's like a model slash like cosplayer person. Pretty cute person, but like yeah, and a lot of great poses actually. So like I think I've saved a couple different of her stuff to like draw later. That's another thing. If y'all on Instagram, you know that save button, you should always, even if you're not really thinking you're gonna want to draw something, always be on the lookout for like poses, you know, because they're everywhere. They're everywhere. Everyone's posting pics of themselves on Instagram like 24/7. That's like a 24/7 photo like feed of like reference photos and poses and everything. One thing I want to get better at is drawing like environments. I'm sure every artist that does portraits can relate on that. They try environments and it looks like, well, it doesn't look like an environment much, does it? But that's something I want to improve on. So I've been recently saving like photos that I think I might be able to draw. Like they're environmental looking photos, but they don't look that difficult, if that makes sense. So I'd like to be able to do some of those later. Maybe you'll see some. Maybe later down in the line in another Draw with Kakumonogatari video, you'll see one of those. Actually, that might be a fun topic. Now that I just said my name out loud, thinking about my name made me think, hey, maybe I should talk about the origins of where the name Kakumonogatari came from. It's really not as cool as you would think it would be. Pretty much all it was is I was like, have y'all ever watched the Monogatari anime? I love that anime, dude. I think that crap's so fun. Like, it's one of my favorite animes. It's one of my top animes, pretty much. So I love that. And I was like, how can I incorporate this into my name? And I was like, well, Kaku means like to draw or like to write in Japanese, right? So I was like, what if I did Kaku Monogatari, which is like, it's like a mix between the Monogatari like name, slogan, brand, whatever the frick. Yeah, it's like a mix. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. So then I put out like a poll on my Instagram. I'm like, hey, what do people think of this name? And like 60% were yeah, 40% were no. And I'm like, all right, screw y'all 40%. I'm just going to go with it anyways. But I also asked for like name suggestions from them as well, because believe it or not, my Instagram name used to be Joey_G_draws_art. Like, F that, dude. That's freaking complicated AF. I don't know, maybe Kakumonogatari is weird as well. I don't know how many people can, like, spell that. I think most people can spell it. I don't think it's too difficult, but who knows? Who knows? I don't know. Let me know down below. Holy frick. We're only 13 minutes in. But it feels like I've been here for a gosh dang hour. And it's only 13 minutes. I don't know how people do this podcast crap, to be honest. Like I said, I need questions. I'm struggling out here. I guess I'll take a sip of my my cola. That's good. Also, fizziest freaking cola I've ever had. Listen to this. You hear that? I don't know if it picks up on the mic, but I can hear it all the way when it's over at the other side of my desk, just fizzing, like constantly, and I don't know why. I don't even think it's like, I've never had Coke fizz that much before, and it's like a light fizz too, because it's not like super carbonated or anything. Like when I drink it, I don't really feel it in my my throat that much. It just kind of tastes like Coke, but it's singing to me, so that always makes me feel good. Speaking of sparkling stuff, how do y'all feel about sparkling water? Because I've been on a sparkling water craze for like a good year now. I've pretty much, like, I almost gave up Coke and just started drinking sparkling water, which is better for you, to be honest. Because let's be honest, like soda in general, it isn't that great for you. So I was like, all right, I better not be as into soda as I normally am. I better better start backing off a little bit. So to back off, I just went to carbonated water, and it's the bee's knees, dude. It's like my favorite thing. Little carbonated water, put a little lemon in that. Heck yeah, dude. It tastes delicious. So I've been loving that. I mean, it's interesting how it happened because the slope into just drinking carbonated water started with LaCroix, which is seen as like the freaking nastiest drink. Everyone says LaCroix is the worst freaking thing on the planet. I don't think it's that bad. I think LaCroix is delicious. You know, I think it tastes really good. I think it's tasty. I went on like a LaCroix craze where I was just drinking LaCroix like every day. I was like LaCroix, Coca-Cola. I always crawl back to Coca-Cola. It's an addiction. I always do go back to it. But yeah, I was drinking just so much freaking LaCroix. And then my mother was like drinking something called Perrier because she needed to do it for like some health kick or something. I guess carbonated water helps with your digestion or whatever. So she was doing it for health kicks. Also, look at how good that face looks, man. I was really happy with this drawing. I really like my OC Luna. I think she's a lot of fun to draw. Which actually, now that we're getting off topic just for a second, I'll get back on the carbonated thing in a second. I know everyone's freaking on the edge of their seat with it. Maybe not everyone, but yeah, some of you are on the edge of your seat about carbonated water right now. But anyways, with Luna, I'm actually doing a do this in your style right now on Instagram. So if you want to participate, just head on over there. Draw my girl Luna in your style, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. I think it'll be cool to see. And hey, maybe I'll feature. You know what? That'll be a fun thing. I'll feature some of them in the next Draw with Kakumonogatari episode. Wouldn't that be neat? I think that'd be pretty fun. Anyways, back to carbonated water. This ish is so good. So yeah, my mother was drinking it for like a health craze to like help with her digestion or whatever. And so I was like, hey, can I have a sip? And she's like, sure. Pretty much tastes like garbage though, because she didn't really like it at the beginning either. She was like, it's not for me, you know. And most people are like, yeah, it's not for me either. But so I take a sip and I'm like, oh, that's not bad. So then I ended up getting like some carbonated water from one of the fountain machines at like a restaurant, you know, and you're like, hey, can I get a cup of water? And they give you the water cup, and you go over to the little soda machine and you're like, and you fill it up with Sprite because you're one of those people. No, but instead of filling it up in Sprite, I've never done that, by the way. So I ain't one of those people, you know. I'll respect the economy or whatever. I fill it up with the carbonated water because I feel like it's still water technically, right? So it shouldn't cost extra than normal water. So I just fill it up with the carbonated water. I'm sipping on that. I'm like, that's tasty. So I end up sticking with it, and I keep like getting carbonated water at these places. And soon enough, I start buying the bottles. And then my family invests in a penguin. It's one of these like futuristic looking machines. Look at this thing. And this freaking penguin is the best, dude. We use this. I use this like every day. I just and get that water carbonated AF. And then I take a swig, and it's down the throat, and it tastes so nice. It tastes so nice. It tastes like water. Okay, it tastes like water, but there's something about that fizz that like elevates the flavor for you, you know? It's like burnt toast. Toast is good on its own. Burn it a little bit and it's even better. Carbonated water is just burnt water. No, that doesn't make much sense now, does it? But yeah. Anyways, that's it. Carbonated water is good for you. It's the best. So I'm gonna talk a little bit more about what's going on over here with Luna. Right now I'm just blocking in some base colors for like the hair and stuff to actually start coloring it. And with the coloring process for this drawing with Luna, I wanted to keep the tones sort of like not really muted, but a little more desaturated, like because when the very first art piece I did for this series that she's from, which is called Soulmate Cafe, I made the drawing like very kind of orangey yellowish. Not like Simpsons orangey yellowish, but here, I'll just throw up a picture of what Soulmate Cafe looks like right here. It kind of looks like that, and actually I better press M on the freaking keyboard because I'm going to forget to do that. I probably should have done that with the carbonated water as well. But yeah, anyways, like I was saying, just like, I don't know, I wanted to get a color scheme that matched the original color scheme of the original illustration that I first did for Soulmate Cafe, which, fun fact, I did in Japan for like a final in a manga class, which was pretty fun, and that's actually where I originally got the idea for Soulmate Cafe. I'll talk about that maybe more in another draw with Kakumonogatari episode, but for this one at least, we'll just stick to what we're talking about right now, which is the illustration. So I wanted to keep a color scheme very similar to that, so that's why you're gonna see the colors be kind of, they're not like, it kind of makes her look dead, to be honest, like, because she's a little more pale than what most humans would be, but I think it matches really well with the background. It matches really well with the theme of Soulmate Cafe, at least with how I originally draw on it. Like, it's pretty insane how far I've come style-wise and like drawing-wise from the original drawing. Because that original illustration that you saw, which I'm hoping might still be up on the screen, I think I'm just going to leave it there so you can look at it. That was only done like 5 months ago. Something like that. It was done 3 months into the year. Man, I don't want to do the math. But yeah, it was done like 5 months ago pretty much. Because what is it? Yeah, 5 months ago. So yeah, 7 months ago. It was done 7 months ago. So that was 7 months ago. So in 7 months, I've gone from that to like this. And it's really cool to see, because I remember like 7 months ago, that illustration took me forever, dude. And I remember that pose was so hard for me to be able to comprehend. And looking at it now, I'm like, I think I would have changed some things, like the perspective and stuff. But the rest I quite like about it. I actually still really like the original illustration a lot. But this new one, I love the new one. It's so cute. I think it shows Luna's personality pretty well as well. Like, I don't know. I really like it. So yeah, I also decided to keep the background from the photo reference and just change it to match the color scheme a little bit more, because I actually really liked kind of how the windows were just like very lightly painted. Not painted in, obviously this is a real photograph, but they look just like very light. Like, you can barely even tell that that's a window. Like, your brain puts it together that it's a window, but it's not really a window. It's just some white lines or whatever. And it looks really nice. I think it looks beautiful. So yeah, the illustration actually is pretty much almost done here. There's not a whole lot I need to change on it. I think what I end up doing here at the end, just a couple like small highlight stuff, and I add a little bit of bloom to kind of show that it's a window a little bit more. Like, there is light coming from the window a little bit more is what I meant to say. But yeah, we're nearing the end of this freaking podcast. We only got like 3 minutes left. And it feels like it's been like 3 hours. And it's only been 26 minutes. So yeah, I don't know how Mikey Mega does it, man. He has the system down. He does a really good job. You know, I'm gonna say it's because he's got questions that he can answer throughout it that help kind of keep the topics going. Right now I'm just free balling it, which isn't going great. It's not going great, let's be honest. But anyways, yes, because we're down to like the last 2 minutes here. I know this is a shorter episode. I was hoping to make these like an hour long or something, but I want to know what you guys think down below. Would you like to see more of this? Would you just like me to shut up and not exist on YouTube anymore? You know, you just let me know. I'll take it all. I'll take all the criticism I can get. Oh, and of course, leave your questions down below, because holy frick, I need them. Just give me something to talk about in the next thing. I want this to kind of be like just like a talking corner, you know, where we can all get together and talk. Just kind of like good old friends, you know. I just want to be able to answer people's questions, or, you know, discuss topics. So yeah, let me know down below. I hope you enjoyed. Of course, you can check me out on Instagram at Kakumonogatari, which there will be a link in the description as well. And oh yeah, and of course, don't forget, if you want to participate to do this in your style of this Soulmate Cafe character named Luna, feel free to do so. I'd really look forward to seeing your entries and stuff. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one.